Module 2. Module 2, Patient/Resident Rights. Statement of purpose. The purpose of this unit is to introduce the nurse assistant to patient/resident rights. The fundamental principle behind patient/resident rights is that each patient/resident is a member of a family and of society as a whole. They must be cared for in a manner that protects their rights and meets the individual family, psychosocial and spiritual needs in a long-term care setting. These rights are protected by federal and state regulations. Performance standards, objectives define key terminology. 1. Abuse. 2. Advance directive. 3. Aiding and abetting. 4. Assault. 5. Battery. 6. Choice. 7. Chronic. 8. Coercion. 9. Confidential. 10. Defamation. 11. Defamation of character. 12. Do not resuscitate, DNR/no code. 13. Ethical standard. 14. False imprisonment. 15. Financial abuse. 16. Grievances. 17. HIPAA. 18. Informed consent. 19. Involuntary seclusion. 20. Laws. 21. Legal standard. 22. Libel. 23. Mandated reporter. 24. Neglect. 25. Negligence. 26. Ombudsman. 27. Physical abuse. 28. Policy and procedure. 29. Privacy. 30. Psychological abuse. 31. Resident counsel. 32. Restraints. 33. Scope of practice. 34. Sexual abuse. 35. Slander. 36. Social services. 37. Theft. 38. Verbal abuse. Patient, resident, and client are synonymous terms referring to the person receiving care. CNA California Exam Vocabulary Sentences, Module 2, Patient/Resident Rights. Here are educational sentences for each vocabulary word to help adult English learners prepare for the CNA California exam. Abuse is any physical, emotional, or mental injury inflicted on a patient or resident, and all CNAs must report suspected abuse immediately. An advance directive is a legal document that tells healthcare workers what medical treatments a person wants if they cannot speak for themselves. Aiding and abetting means helping someone do something wrong or not reporting dishonest acts that you witness in the workplace. Assault occurs when someone threatens or attempts to harm another person physically or mentally, even without touching them. Battery happens when someone touches a patient's body or belongings without getting permission first. Residents have the right to choice, which means they can make their own decisions about activities, clothing, and daily routines. A chronic condition lasts for a long time, such as diabetes or arthritis that requires ongoing care. Coercion means forcing someone to do something against their will, which violates a resident's rights. All patient information must remain confidential and can only be shared with authorized healthcare team members. Defamation occurs when someone spreads untrue information that damages another person's reputation. Defamation of character is the same as defamation, sharing false information that harms someone's good name. A do not resuscitate (DNR) order means that extraordinary life-saving measures should not be used when a person is dying. Healthcare workers must follow ethical standards, which means doing what is right and moral in patient care. False imprisonment happens when a resident is restrained or kept somewhere against their will without proper authorization. Financial abuse occurs when someone improperly uses or steals another person's money or belongings. Residents can file grievances, which are formal complaints about their care or living conditions. HIPAA is a federal law that protects patient privacy and controls how health information can be shared. Informed consent means a patient has received complete information and agrees to a treatment or procedure. Involuntary seclusion is separating a resident from others without their permission, which violates their rights. Laws are rules created by the government to protect people and help them live together peacefully. Legal standards are the guides and rules that define lawful behavior in healthcare settings. Libel refers to false written statements or pictures that damage someone's reputation. A mandated reporter is someone who is legally required to report suspected or witnessed abuse. Neglect means failing to provide the care and services needed to prevent harm to a resident. Negligence occurs when a healthcare worker fails to provide reasonable care, causing harm to a patient. An ombudsman is an impartial person who advocates for residents' rights and investigates complaints. Physical abuse involves hurting someone through hitting, slapping, or other harmful physical contact. Policy and procedure are the facility's written guidelines that explain how to care for residents and operate the facility. Privacy means protecting residents from unwanted exposure and keeping their personal information confidential. Psychological abuse involves threatening, belittling, or emotionally harming a resident. A resident council is a group of residents who meet to discuss facility issues and communicate with staff. Restraints are devices that limit a resident's movement and can only be used with a doctor's order. Scope of practice defines the specific skills and duties that CNAs are legally allowed to perform. Sexual abuse involves using force or threats to make someone participate in unwanted sexual acts. Slander refers to false spoken statements that damage someone's reputation. Social services is the facility department that helps meet residents' non-medical needs and connects them with community resources. Theft means taking something that belongs to another person without their permission. Verbal abuse is a form of mistreatment that uses harmful or threatening language to hurt someone emotionally. Module 2 for CNA Dialogues. Dialogue 1, Orientation Day, Understanding Patient Rights. Sarah, new CNA. Good morning. I'm Sarah, the new nursing assistant. Today is my first day. Maria, experienced CNA. Welcome, Sarah. I'm Maria, and I'll be showing you around. Let me explain some important concepts about patient rights. Sarah, what exactly are patient rights? Maria, patient rights protect people receiving care. Every resident, that's what we call people living here, has the right to privacy, choice, and informed consent for their treatments. Sarah, what does informed consent mean? Maria, it means we must explain procedures clearly before doing them. Residents have the right to say yes or no. We never use coercion, that means forcing or pressuring someone. Sarah, what if a family has special instructions? Maria, many residents have an advance directive. This is a legal document that explains their wishes for medical care. Some might have a DNR, that's do not resuscitate, which means no CPR. Sarah, this is a lot to remember. Are there rules I need to follow? Maria, yes, we follow policies and procedures. We also have ethical standards, doing what's right, and legal standards, following the law. Remember, everything about residents is confidential. We protect their information under HIPAA laws. Dialogue 2: Preventing Abuse and Neglect. David, Supervisor Tom, as a CNA, you're a mandated reporter. Do you know what that means? Tom, new CNA, I think it means I have to report problems? David, exactly. If you see abuse, neglect, or negligence, you must report it immediately. Let me explain the differences. Tom, what's the difference between abuse and neglect? David, abuse means someone intentionally hurts a resident. Physical abuse is hitting or rough handling. Psychological abuse is threatening or humiliating someone. Verbal abuse means yelling or using cruel words. Sexual abuse is any unwanted sexual contact. Tom, what about neglect? David, neglect means not providing proper care. Negligence is similar, it's failing in your duty to care for someone. Both can harm residents even if you don't mean to. Tom, are there other types of abuse? David, yes. Financial abuse means stealing money or belongings, that's also called theft. We also never use restraints without proper orders, and we never put residents in involuntary seclusion, that's false imprisonment. Tom, what if I'm accused of something? David, never help someone do wrong, that's called aiding and abetting. Always follow your scope of practice, only do tasks you're trained and allowed to do. Dialogue 3: Communication and Respect. Linda, CNA Jessica, I heard Mrs. Johnson complaining about her care yesterday. Jessica, new CNA, she seemed upset. What should I do about grievances? Linda, residents have the right to complain and get answers. Listen respectfully and report concerns to the nurse or social services. Jessica, can I talk to other staff about her complaints? Linda, be careful. You must protect resident privacy. Don't discuss residents in public areas. That could be defamation, damaging someone's reputation. Jessica, what's the difference between defamation and other communication problems? Linda, defamation of character means saying false things that hurt someone's reputation. Libel is writing false statements, and slander is saying false things out loud. All of these are serious. Jessica, how do I communicate properly? Linda, always be respectful. Remember that many residents have chronic conditions, long-term health problems. They need patience and understanding. Ask about their choice in daily activities like what to wear or eat. Jessica, what if there's a conflict? Linda, never use assault, threatening someone, or battery, unwanted touching. If you have concerns, contact the Ombudsman. That's an independent person who protects resident rights. Jessica, do residents have a say in their care? Linda, absolutely. There's a resident council where they can voice concerns and make suggestions about facility policies.